donate the interest investment earnings to be $360,000. And then we would adjust the Community Resources Parks and Recreation Committee capital outlay to increase that $21,000 to $296,000. Yeah.
And we'll clarify. We'll send out clarification of where these items are going to show actually in the budget. We'll research the proper locations to show us.
As far as it goes then, y'all are satisfied, and should the council wish to pass the budget at this point, you have everything clarified.
That's
y'all's satisfaction.
Yeah, that's all we need to know.
Unless council has any further questions.
Okay. We're at a point, council, where it appears that outstanding questions were answered, and that we are ready, should y'all so desire, to pass the budget along with the changes that the manager and finance officer just advised us. So should y'all be ready, we can discuss it further, we can make a motion.
I wanted to ask a question. I think we talked about giving a donation to the VFW as part of this budget from.
Did that?
Hadn't heard anybody mention that.
Is that anywhere in it? And I forgot to write that down.
It's not in our budget.
Okay, all right. We did talk about
You can decide what you want to do.
behind the scenes, making a donation available. I think it was matching donation available to them for building the monument, the memorial. Agree on 2,500 or 5,000. What is the consensus on that figure?
I think no less than 2,500.
Okay.
What are we matching?
Matching amount.
What are we matching? Corporate donations, private donations, I mean, what are we matching?
I was under the impression it is whatever they raise, we match it to up to either 2,500.
So you're just saying you're just going to give them $2,500?
If they want to.
Because they raise that much.
Or would you want to do just cover construction costs, since it's actually in our part, cover a portion of construction costs up to a certain amount with
That's what I was going to ask. Could it be valued either as dollar donation and or service, basically, so that we could potentially utilize funds that are in the budget now to construct whatever it is to construct, a pad or something like that. And just give us that option, I guess, working with them as to what their needs are. If they need cash, they need service.
Right. That's fine. Either way, maybe. So, what about an amount? 2,500 or 5,000, somewhere in the middle?
Well, if I'm remembering right, Danny Nelson was at the VFW program of remembrance that we had Sunday, and did he say they had raised over $7,000 and it was going to cost $30,000?
I don't remember the total that he said.
I'm thinking that it's somewhere in there, so if that's it, they've already raised, you know. Are we talking about $2,500 from this budget fourth that we will match, or are we talking about what they've already raised? Well, we have to have somewhere to start at with whatever the amount. Because they've already raised, like I say, it's over $7,000, I believe. if I remember.
Well, and again, the manager just said that we could do it as to pay a percentage of the cost, of the construction cost, up to X dollars. And that way we wouldn't have to do this matching thing. If that sounds okay, that would be fine. We can alter it anyway. They want it fine, if they don't fine.
I think to pay for the construction cost would be better than trying to match what they've already earned.
Yeah.
I think that would be a better way to go.
An amount, good amount.
I was for no less than $2,500, no less. Somebody else had said 5,000, but that was my amount. No
Okay.
less than 2,500, so that's why I said,
We're gonna need to go to clarify things, we're gonna need to have a motion, whatever point.
Not to exceed $5,000.
Is that your motion?
That'd be my motion.
Okay.
$5,000 cash or $5,000 services?
Services.
so
Okay.
now when we say services, that would mean we're gonna come down here and work for them, or we're gonna pay for services?
You're going down there and work for
Oh,
me.
okay. That's what I'm saying, that's how we done it, we're
No.
talking about
The
paying.
town manager said that they could do construction. They need, because they moved their space, it's gonna cost them more to get that spot leveled to put the monument. So if the town could provide the services, it would help them
To get it
to get it done faster. Because the school board is not helping.
It's still an expenditure.
It's
I
not-
mean, it's still an expenditure,
But it's
just that
not,
it'd be a
we're
service
not giving
expense.
them $5,000.
Okay, services up to 5,000, is what John said, right?
Okay, we made that motion. To add that into the budget. Did y'all make the
I
motion?
made the motion.
What
Okay.
is the motion?
Motion by
Please
Mr.
repeat
Gray,
it.
second by Mr. Williams.
Could he repeat the motion, please?
Go ahead and
It's
repeat it.
5,000 in services?
5,000 in services.
Okay.
Construction
Thank-
services.
Construction services.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Gray, a second by Mr. Williams, further discussion of the budget of the council. All in favor of that motion, raise your hands. Okay. Passes unanimous. Are we ready to pass the budget? If so, we have a motion to that effect.
Well, Mayor, we started meeting on this budget early on in the year, and I didn't bring my book, Mr. Lofton did, and filled it up with notes and all. And I asked you when our last meeting on this thing about give us a budget and keep it low. And I went through this budget with a fine-tooth comb, magnifying glass. And as you can see, I started making notes all in it. Cutting out, trying to, what I call trim the fat, but I couldn't find any fat in here. It was all very lean, and I appreciate it. I did try to make some cuts just to see how much that would reduce our tax request. And it was very low. I said, keep it under 3.5. And you kept it right at 3.5, so that's why I went through this thing trying to cut it more. And it was just a fraction, it wasn't that much. So y'all done a very good job in the number of hours and all that, you're the science to get it put in. And I commend you on it. So I'm satisfied with what you have presented to us. Thank you very much for keeping it down.
Make a motion to
And that, nobody else has anything, I'll make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 2011 operating budget ordinance as presented by the town manager with the amendments that we discussed.
We have a motion by Mr. Ray, we have a second.
Yes, I'll second.
Second by Mr. Williams, further council discussion.
I want to say that the thought to give the town employees a COLA raise has nothing to do with that I like them or not. I think they're doing their job. I'm not a miser, I'm frugal. If my kids borrow money from me, they pay it back or they work it out. So I think people that are doing their job, they should be so recognized. And that's my reason for saying okay for a COLA this year. I may not say that next year. Not because I like them or don't like them, but it has to do with they're doing their job. It has to do with where the physical standing of the town is.
Other council comments?
Well, I know of areas that money's been saved for us on the park up here by George, and I appreciate his watching things to the extent that he has. And all the employees work hard. I appreciate it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor of the budget, raise your hand. All opposed? And 4-1 budget passes. Okay, public hearing. Yeah, we'll maybe get your stuff ready to go, and we'll take a 5-minute recess.
Trips at 3 in the morning going less than 15 miles an hour, so I don't know. I think that the trips may be closer to 5,000 or 6,000 per day, but I'm really not relying on my traffic counter at this point for that place. Environmental concerns: there are no streams, wetlands, or floodplains on the property. The property is not located within watershed critical area and is thus not subject to the watershed critical area requirements. The town of Summerfield long-range plan on the next page here, we will still be using the pre-existing comprehensive plan as a reference for this because the application was initiated prior to the adoption of the comprehensive plan. But in my staff report here, I note that section 3 of the previous comprehensive plan talks about the town core district trying to preserve and enhance the small town character of central Summerfield. This request, in my opinion, seems to be in keeping with the general purposes of that. Public comment: we held a public open house on March 29th, and a total of 5 citizens came by. Nobody signed in, but there was some good discussion amongst those people that came by and the applicant and their agent. The applicant here certainly stated that the existing use and the existing building would remain the same. That's why there's no development proposal here with this. Nothing is going to change much there. With the structures themselves, there is the proposed use that is not permitted at the moment. This is then the reason for this rezoning request. I have not received any additional information from public, either pro or con. As I say, this case is to consider the proposed change of the zoning on 2 tracts of land. The buildings currently exist there. One is being used and will continue to be used for that purpose, the daycare facility. The proposed zoning change from limited business to conditional use general business would permit a proposed use of the property that is not currently permitted. Part of the discussion that we had at the zoning board meeting talked about the conditional uses and